welcome to another edition of Creators Outlet. Please subscribe, comment, share, and remember that we are TV, MAVRICS, and NSFW. And we welcome our guest tonight, Gingy Gingerton.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Will.
I used to be a Ginge.
Really?
All yeah.
Right. Once a Ginge, always a Ginge.
Yeah. I could prove it, but nobody needs to see that.
Do you still have the freckles? That is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All over.
Sweet.
All over.
Yep. That nickname, Gingerton, people seem to take to it, and it is a funny nickname. I've had it on YouTube for like 10 years, roughly. I just did it for fun, like, whatever, Gingerton. But when that South Park episode came out, remember that Ginger, like their first Ginger episode? Yeah, I was in like 9th grade. I didn't catch the episode the night it aired. I just had come to school that next day, and like pretty much my life has never been the same since then. It's just my name went from Mark, which is my actual name, to Gingy, Ginger. So it's cool. I mean, I kind of like it, to be honest with you. And you just turn it into your thing. But yeah, I hardly hear my real name, to be honest.
Yeah, my father's nickname was Red. I didn't have a choice because both my parents were redheads. So my father's nickname was Red, and mine went through the pop culture drama of starting off, me thinking I was intelligent when I was a kid. People starting to call me Carrot Top. I'm like, duh, Carrot Top's green. And it went from that to I became Woody Woodpecker, and it got worse because I had kind of like high hair in the 70s.
Oh no!
And they'd call me Woody, and I was taking that as a badge of honor, and I was going, and that didn't help out my case at all. So
there was like. The only one that really bothered me, and the only one that I pushed back on as a kid, was orangutan. My friends were like, "You look like an orangutan," and I'm like, "All right, guys, I don't look like an orangutan. Thank you." It might have been like, just like a chubby little freckled kid. I was really short. I'm not terribly tall now. I'm 5'8", but it took me forever to hit a growth spurt, and I might have looked like a little monkey at the time. But even still, that's like the only one that was like, "You cut me deep, guys."
When I hit middle school and high school, the Brawny paper towel commercial had come around, and my mother felt the need to buy me plaid shirts every year in the fall to go back to school with, probably because they were cheaper than any of the other shirts. So I became Brawny. I'm like, good, because Brawny mops up spills, and I'm about to mop you up off the floor. Now get away from me.
That's not a bad nickname, though. I kind of like Brawny. I can dig it. It's like if you're gonna get called something, it's like, all right.
Yeah, I'll take that. Not a problem.
Switch it up. Call you Mr. Clean one day. Say, oh no, go back to Brawny.
Yeah. Hey, Lorenzo, how are you?
What's up, Lorenzo? Good to see you, buddy.
So let's start by what got you into comics originally. What drew you to it?
Absolutely. So I was born in 92. So like a lot of people from that era, probably my very first introduction to superheroes was Batman, the animated series, the X-Men cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoon. I remember that was like the holy trinity for me back in the day. Then you got the movies, of course, the various live action movies. But I think at about like 11 or 12, I got a hold of volume 1 of J. Michael Straczynski's The Amazing Spider-Man run, the John Romita Jr. And that was great. I mean, I just remember really diving into that. I've always been a reader, manga, even novels too. I mean, I didn't really have the internet too much growing up, so it was more like, or I had a computer. It was just like heavily locked down. So it was like, all right, you got to find something to entertain yourself. So books, comic books, Spawn, that was another series I got a hold of really young as a kid. So yeah, that was early on like that.
Yeah, I got suckered into Spawn because I didn't really understand. I didn't get the whole thing at the time with all the big names leaving Marvel and creating their own company.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were just, bickering, about stupid stuff. And, then, after about 6 months, I started reading some different articles about it, not being put out by Wizard. And I was like, oh, I get it now.
Interesting. That would have been fun to watch that, honestly.
Yeah. And, I was such a McFarlane fan that I bought, as I was bitching about Image, I was buying Image. Doing well. Good to see you on a live stream. I've seen him in YouTube chat lately. Yeah.
Yep. Mo Lorenzo. I like his last name, Sleekstack. And also the little alien avatar works. I picture an alien would be named Lorenzo. Sorry.
And yeah, that's the Sleekstack from the original the old TV show there from the 70s. Oh,
I guess that would.
But the name of the show escaped me, Lorenzo. Quick, help me. I look like an idiot on my own pop culture channel.
Star Trek. I'm just gonna throw some stuff out. Is it a cartoon or?
No, it was live action, like a Saturday morning
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Close, but not quite. It was the father, the son, and the daughter on a rafting trip, fell through a hole and landed in the prehistoric time. Land of the Lost.
Yeah, Land of the Lost.
Thanks, Lorenzo. I was like, oh, right. I usually have that one too. I'm like, yeah. But so I was buying Spawn, and then he came out with all the offshoots. Spawn the Dark Ages, and I always liked Dark Ages stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Twitch was great, and there are a couple other ones out there, and the short run on Angela and everything else, and so this time when he's announcing the Spawn universe and that there's going to be a different Spawn book every month, I go I fell for that once already.
Yeah, I wanted to get on board, but I would have to read them all, and I honestly I can't commit to it because it's probably like $30 or $40 worth of comics a month just alone in Spawn. I'm not sure I'd even get around to all of them, but Spawn for me, my first introduction to that, I had a really rockin' godfather. He was this just like old metal dude, guitar teacher, and also big time comic book nerd. And my mom used to babysit his kid, and he brought me over this. I'm not sure, it was probably like maybe pre-2000 or something, but I guess Image was putting out like these big black boxes of he brought me a box one day. It was half Spawn and half Bone. I never read the Bone comics, which I've heard Bone is actually fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've heard it's better than the Spawn books, but at the time, at the time I had seen the Spawn movie and was like, oh yes. And he gave me, that was like Christmas Day. He brought that over. And yeah, that was probably a really profound kind of time. I think it was like the first maybe 15 or 20 issues of Spawn. And then I don't remember how many of the Bone, but it was a pretty cool gift.
Yeah. The Bone #1s are still like huge money, like the first prints.
Wow.
And, but he's got like this really fat book, like literally like this, of it, like all collected into like one volume, so you can read it. I know for a while he went to Image, and Image insisted on coloring it, and then he left Image distribution, and it went back to the black and white that it was supposed to be. Nice. Lorenzo says it was a low budget but impressive considering it was a TV show with stop motion animation.
I've been watching old stuff here lately, specifically the Addams Family, the original Addams Family.
Oh yeah.
Dude, And also when WandaVision came out, I enjoyed the black and white stuff of it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go watch the real deal and watch some I Love Lucy. And both of those shows were funny and I enjoyed them both. And yeah, especially the Addams Family. That, I mean, you can definitely see. And it's funny because that's like, it started as like a comic strip, sort of more like those sort of like old illustrated kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, in a way, that's like one of the first comic book adaptations of something we ever got. You know what I mean? So we've been doing this for a while. Like the idea of turning comic books into content, I think, was kind of new for most people, at least. But in reality, I mean, Charles Addams, and I'm sure there's people before him, but those are really great strips. If you ever get a chance to check them out, they're pretty funny.
Oh yeah, Pops is here. He's
Pops.
probably gone already. He pops in just to say, "Hey, yo," and then takes off. He bugged me for a while. He bugged me for like about a day or so. He goes, give me a wrench so I can put links up." I gave him a wrench, and now he just comes by, says hi, and takes off. No links, no nothing.
Popping in with Pops Van Zandt. It's his new show.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, and
Just playing Pops.
So there we go. I put the links in myself because somebody's going to do it.
Somebody.
So now that we've gone there, let's go to what got you into wanting to make content yourself.
Right. I think as far as being a writer or wanting to create things, I'm not ever have a chance of being a professional artist, but I do just do one kinds of art. I'm the type of guy that when I watch something, if it interests me, I like to try to. As far as comic books though and writing, I feel like there's this kind of really early memory I have of me and my cousin. My cousin's more the artist, and like growing up, even before really understanding wanting to be a writer or kind of what the concept was, I just remember him and I coming up with stories. I'd be like, okay, I'll do the story, specifically something about a lizard man. Him and I whipped up something about lizard people in the front yard one day, and that was like probably 10 to 12 or so. So yeah, that's just a memory that's stuck with me. But I mean, even past then, I mean, there's just been I've constantly wanted to do something, and it just took like 10 years really to I guess allow myself to do it really. So here I am.
And here you are. And what got you interested in actually going forward, and what drew you into CG?
A lot of things really. Like I said, I came across the first book I backed was Scott Snyder's Noctera. After that, I quickly discovered Lucifer Storm's YouTube channel just through some of his writing tutorials, and he had on Rob Geronimo from Wirehead and Blood Realm, and so just from there, I kind of fell into the rabbit hole of all these different streams. But so that's how I fell into it, and so I kind of was introduced to it. But what really kind of helped me make the next step was kind of a mixture of how nice everybody is, and if you really need anything, you can get help. Or people the old comics CG is a hate group. I disagree. I know I'm just a humble ginger, but there's been people that are like way above my level that give me their time to help me out. So it's really accessible. There's no gatekeepers. You just have to do the work. So that, and yeah, like I said, it's kind of almost like a personal journey really. Like it took me, I'm 29 now, but I feel like I've spent the last 10 years roughly, like since I was 19, just sort of trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, which might be dramatic for somebody of that age. But yeah, deciding I wanted to be a writer and then allowing myself to do that, and then going through the whole process. Once you get started, and you just, like, really the hardest parts, the old staring at the blank screen. And for me, I just don't worry about the editing part of it. It's like, just get your thoughts out, and then you can always go back and fix it before anybody else even sees it. So that kind of takes the pressure off.
Yeah. Well, apparently Pops is still here. He's calling me a dick.
Pops, we were just kidding, buddy.
Right back at you, you old cunt. And Lorenzo, I'm surprised you don't have more mods. Well, you opened your mouth, Lorenzo, and Pops thought the same thing. So, Lorenzo, you now have a wrench. So, congratulations.
Hooray.
Everybody else has a frog. Gee, I now have a slee stack.
Sort of a frog-looking being, kind of not an offshoot, just the natural evolution. Let's say this frog's got legs.
Yeah, the lizard people. Yeah,
there you go.
It's all good like that. So let's take a look at what all that brought you to.
Let's do it.
Spells and superheroes.
Yeah. Yep.
So you love comic books and D&D.
Yeah, I love this book is actually kind of extra fun in that regard, because it's almost a mixture of all my favorite things. It's a mixture of superhero. The book takes place in 50% in the kind of real world, quote unquote, and then 50% in the D&D realm. And it's a mixture of fantasy, superheroes, and a little bit of horror with the setup. The deranged, our villain, a dungeon master, has captured 4 of Earth's bravest heroes, and he wants to play a game. So that's kind of the deal. He's basically forcing them to play a game for their lives. And the game happens to be Spells and Superheroes, which is, our fun little D&D take. I have a trailer there if you'd like to give it a play.
We will go right to that. And
done by Pedro Ang. Man.
Biding my time.
Oh, nice.
To make sure you were worthy. And now it begins. Foxman. Zoo-girl. Tricolors. Madam Magic. You fools think you can stop me? You never had a chance! Spells and superheroes.
Yep, that's the trailer. It just sort of plays out with that awesome soundtrack we got. But yep, that's the trailer. Pretty much 99% of that's all Pedro. I just gave him one single line of dialogue. You can wind that man up and let him go.
The villain there with his laugh. When I look at it, reminds me of like one of the crazy aliens from one of the Robotech series, when he would laugh at the the pipsqueak humans, and they're not going to know what we're doing to them, the puppet masters.
I haven't seen.
So I look. Oh, you haven't seen Robotech?
No, but I was going to comment on the voice actor real quick. He did a really great job in that laugh. That was like one of the most important things to me, was the laugh and the way he says their names. Like I wanted him to really emphasize the names, but the laugh, I told him like a mixture of Mark Hamill's Joker and then Brad Dourif's Chucky. Just like throw those two in there. Just really wild and nutty.
Oh yeah, he pretty much nailed that.
Right.
So the 4 characters that we're looking at here, Foxman is your take on a Wolverine character.
Yeah, originally he was supposed to be a Batman type, but I don't recall if I wrote that down or not when I gave it to Jacob, our interior artist who did the character designs. But he came back out as a Wolverine type, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Foxman would be a Wolverine type with the claws and everything, so totally worked out with that.
and we have Triclops, which is obviously a Cyclops character.
Right.
Even though he looks the name makes me think of one of the villains from the old He-Man show.
Yeah,
before Kevin Smith destroyed it.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Yeah, I tried some of that show. I got through the 3rd episode and just tuned out. It just didn't do it for me.
I watched the entire thing.
Wow.
And I had to take a lot of milk and magnesia for it. So
I take my hat off to you, sir.
Because if I got in a debate with anybody, that would be a fight on Twitter. I wanted to be able to have the knowledge of just how bad it was and why, personally. So I see the morphing girl, the animal morphing girl, and I think right away of Changeling from Teen Titans.
Yeah, definitely a zoo. Well, I was thinking Beast Boy originally, but yeah, you got the girl version, Changeling. Fair enough. Yeah, this it's a mixture of kind of my 2 favorite teams, really, which is the Teen Titans and the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of setup, it just seemed natural.
Yeah, and one of my favorite books, every time I see it, like at a show or a store, I have to buy it, is the Uncanny X-Men versus the Teen Titans, the meet-up, team-up book there.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know.
If you've never seen that, I will dig out one of my many copies. I think I have an entire short box full of them now. I'll dig out a copy and when I find them through selling off most of my collection, I will put a copy aside to mail out to you.
Hey, I would happily pay for it as well. You just name your price. Well, no problem at all.
Just pay for the postage. I'll send you the book for free. I don't care. Like I said, I've got like 50 of them by now.
Well, thank you, sir. Absolutely.
And the witch would be like your version of like a Scarlet Witch or a Raven.
Yeah, probably more like a Scarlet Witch type. Madam Magic, though. Yep, she's our magical superhero. And you can kind of always tell a Jacob Whittingham piece. He loves this, the metal art hands. So, yeah, she's our metal mistress.
So that works.
And in the artwork, we've got a couple other artists on board here. I'm sure we'll get to it. But sort of people's 2 favorite characters, I think, are Foxman and Madam Magic. Foxman because people think he's awesome or badass, and then Madam Magic because people really love her hooters. So,
every time boobs for the win.
Yes.
And Pop's coming in and fuck anti-CG people. Thanks, Pops.
Always count on Pops.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And some. This is the 2nd print that will be included with all physical tiers. This is art by Samrat Das and colors by Anthony Gambino.
Yes, sir. Yep. Samrat, we've got 2 prints, and we've actually got something else coming up at the end of the month that I'll show when it's done. I just sent it off to our colorist, but a different colorist other than Anthony. But Anthony's our actual colorist. Samrat is a really great guy that a buddy of mine worked with and put me in touch with. And Sam, he did 2 prints for us, and it's really just a miracle that he's not completely unaffordable, because his artwork it's really, really, really impressive. He's a big David Finch type dude. So there's a lot of that. On our other print especially, he gets I stared at that thing for so long. I was like, oh, just the little facial details and everything. Yeah, Sam did a great job.
Were you thinking of this print?
That is the one. Yeah, there's bigger versions down below.
Yeah, we'll see the full version in a little bit. But yeah, I saw this one and I was like,
yeah,
damn. I'm like, I got to buy this now. Before it's done, I have to come up with the money to buy this because I want that print. That is just badass.
Yeah, it's a great print. I'm a print kind of guy, so I mean that's usually like if there's a print on a campaign. We did a lot of sort of quote unquote market research before putting this out, and for me personally, like the things that really sucker me in are prints. So I got to have some prints on here. So we got 2. Like I said, we do have 1 more coming. I'll probably drop that at the end of the month, but and I've already seen. Like I said, I sent it off to the colorist, and the pencils and inks are. I'm pretty sure. I hope everybody's going to love it, but I know for my Foxman fans out there, it's definitely up your alley. I'll say that much.
Cool.
Yep. This is the cover. This is done by our interior artist, Jacob. He did all of it, the whole colors as well.
Jacob Whittingham.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Aussie. Trying to think of a cool. It's not the Aussie invasion. I don't know what's the Aussie. I'm trying to think of something with an A. I got nothing. All right.
And here's that full print right there.
Mm-hmm.
And man.
Yep. Yeah, this is a great piece. Yep. Sam, he did all this pencil and ink, and then we gave it to Anthony to color. And yeah, Anthony, he's another great dude. He's got a sketchbook out right now. I'm pretty sure that's going to get taken down because if I'm not mistaken, he's started his first wave of fulfillment on that. And his campaign's got a lot of great prints with it as well. So my print fans out there, for my Anthony Gambino fans, we got him. Yep.
Nice. I have a print that because you said who your 2 favorite teams were. I have a print that I'll show you at the end of the show that you'll really dig. I like this too because I play Neverwinter online because I like D&D and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the free games, and they do a thing every once in a while, like basically a game inside the game. So you actually go into like a game map like this and do stuff, and there's like oversized various dice that get rolled, and depending on, if you did an epic fail, you're going to get like 50,000 minions coming at you.
That's fun.
But it reminds me of this and the animation that they use for it when you first go in. There's like a whole animated thing to transverse the screens. So I thought that was cool.
Yep. Sam totally knocked it out of the park on this. This was like Sam was one of the first people. There's like 3 people we contacted first. It was Jacob, who I found on the Alterna forums, Frankie B. Washington, who did a patch for us, which is down below as we scroll along.
When I scrolled down the campaign earlier, I'm like, Frankie again? I know Frankie. Like in real life, I know Frankie.
Oh, right on.
When I first got out of, I was in a coma back in 2016, and
wow,
I was in a rehab hospital for almost 3 years. One of the first things I hadn't even gotten out yet, and I was already reaching out to creators to show up to Free Comic Book Day at my LCS.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Frankie did the art on this book that was out at the time, and another guy, Jeffrey Haas, who actually just contacted me the other week, and I'd get some people that are on his indie publishing company for a book they're doing coming on Friday.
Sweet. Right on.
They did this thing where it was kind of like the Universal Monsters. So it was kind of like a Monster Squad book,
God, and I love that.
And they were saving the world from nuclear destruction or something to that effect.
Very cool.
And so Frankie came down. And he had he set up like this spinner with patches, all these different patches on it that he had designed for that company, and he had a bunch of cool prints, lots of kaiju and robot stuff. because anybody that knows Frankie, outside of his wife, his biggest loves are kaijus and robots.
Right.
Case,
He's good at drawing them. That's his jam.
Case in point, they him and Matt they're going through the end stages of their crowdfunder for kaijus and robots, who got picked up by a publisher, and he is now working on issue 1. They picked it up for like a 12-issue run through a publisher, so that's cool. Lorenzo wants to know, what's the difference between the Adventurous Pack and Don't Go Alone?
That's a great question, and also a really smooth segue. The difference between the two is the Frankie B patch. So pack, that's our $10. You'll get 2 prints, you'll get the book, you'll get the sticker, you'll get our PW sticker there, well, as we go along. But the difference is the $15 pack, our featured tier, you'll get the Frankie B. Washington patch along with everything else. And then the $10 pack is everything else except for the patch.
Cool. So, yeah. Patches. There's somebody I know that is in love with patches. I wonder who that could be.
You got me curious. You're leaving us.
Shay the Red.
Oh, okay. Yep, I touched base with them. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So I would definitely love to get on Red Valkyrie. Shout out. If y'all catch this, I'd love to come on.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. So here's what we were looking at. The featured tier, and dude, there's so much in here for $15.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was what I look a lot at Alterna, like Pete, the way he runs his business.
Yeah.
That's a huge influence on me for many reasons. He's just, a really great businessman all around. That's his priorities. And I really like that. And I also like that we can kind of look at, he's the way I see it is this is a long-term endeavor for me. So I've got like a 5-10 year, and by 15 years, I'd like to be somewhere where Pete's at in terms of, probably, I don't know if I assume Pete sustains himself off of Alterna Comics. I'd like to be able to do that for myself by that time. So we have the benefit of having him, be out there in the community and giving people advice and, getting to watch how he runs his stuff. So yeah, that was one of the companies I really looked at and one of the inspirations for this campaign.
Yeah, Pete's a great guy because, even if it's, he gets pitched like a million times a day for things. But and all the people that get turned down, he says this when on his podcast. He's like, goes, look, if you pitch me for anything and we turned it down, it wasn't because it's not always because it wasn't good. A lot of times it's just not a good fit for what I'm doing at this particular time. Go out, if we don't take you up on it, go to, if you still want to go the publisher route, there's like a million different indie publishers out there right now. Shop it around or just do it yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Just get it out there. And of course that's what you're doing here. So for $15, you're getting the digital copy, the physical copy. You're getting the Patchworks Comics logo sticker, the Game Master 4x4 patch by Frankie B, 2 prints, the big battle map, and the Spells and Superheroes magnet.
Correct. Yep. It's just our logo there, but yeah, it looks nice. Anthony Gambino, our colorist, he's a graphic designer for Marvel and does a lot of logo work and all kinds of nonsense around there. So yeah, super lucky there. He whipped that up in like 2 days, and it's literally professional. So feels pretty good. I really like it. That logo.
You're hitting all the bells and whistles because it's it's a book about RPG gaming and superheroes,
Mhm.
you made a big old map, perfect for a
Mhm.
table to sit down and set your stuff up on to play basically any land-based RPG game. You get the book, 2 prints, a magnet, a sticker, and a patch.
Mhm. Yep.
It, it's like you went into a restaurant and you chose something from every column before you left.
Yeah, like I said, we did a good amount of market research. My company's website, Patchwork Comics, we have a Patchwork News section, which is it's essentially a kind of a spotlight of campaigns that I like, for various reasons. And even if I don't like them, the idea is more. It's called Patchwork News, but it's the whole point is there's no editorializing, so there's no opinion. It's just more we copy and paste people's spotlights or their campaigns or whatever, bring it over to our website and hope to get some traffic. Whether it's a book that I like or it's a book that I feel like could use a push. So here's some, here everybody check it out. But yeah, by doing that though, it gave me a good you just got to go through everybody's stuff. So I've just spent a good amount of hours reading a bunch of people's campaigns, and yeah, that was definitely something that helped inform the way I picked everything out for the perks.
Yeah, that was just a good idea with all that stuff. And I'm like, and the price alone, I'm like,
Mhm.
so you get the featured tier and shipping comes out to what it will cost you on average, um for like just another like indie book.
Mhm. Yep. And one of the reasons for that is I don't know if we mentioned this yet, but my book, it is a mini comic, quote unquote. So it's a full sized in terms of it's 11 by 17 standard comic book uh, material and paper and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so what we're doing is a line of mini comics or one shots, right? Called Fun Shots. So with that, this Spells and Superheroes book is our first one, and it's so the book it will be 16 pages, but it's 11 pages in story. And a lot of people have asked if Jacob and I, the interior artist, have any plans on doing a full version. Originally, no, and like all the way up until maybe a month ago, after like 4 or 5 times of people asking if that was a plan, because it really wasn't. Because I mean, the way the story is wrote now, some people have asked if we could add a couple extra pages. Not really, not without having to like shoehorn in, more. Just it would be a shoehorn, really. The story wasn't wrote for the extra, but yeah, Jacob and I talked about it, and we will be doing a full version of this, but probably like 2023, because we're cooking up something right now that we want to do next year. But yeah, so that's partially why it's priced the way it is, though. Is one, the printing cost isn't terribly high, and neither is the production. But also with it being a 11-page fun shot mini comic, it's you kind of gotta adjust, because a lot of people, that's sort of been the biggest thing, is like it's turned some heads, but sometimes the 11-page thing isn't everybody's bag, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually why we have a dollar digital offer as well, because ultimately the point of this project is to get my book into people's hands. So if the 11 pages is dubious to anybody, I definitely want you to read it still. So if you have a dollar, and you feel like you'd like to try it, maybe come back for the next book, we're going to be doing more fun shots. So, but yeah, we do have the dollar digital as well.
So it's 11 pages, and what are the other pages that bring it up to a 16-page count?
It'll be a couple of the behind the scenes character sheets that Jacob Whittingham designed. RJ from Critical Blast gave me a really great idea, and we can actually touch on the battle map if you'd like to scroll down a little bit there.
Yeah, sure.
But on the battle map, it's supposed to represent a scene from the book,
Oh,
and
there it is.
yep, it's supposed to represent a scene from the book. But RJ gave me a great idea with one of those extra pages, because he asked the same question. With one of those extra pages, he suggested that I do kind of a story within the map, kind of design a page that's just dedicated to that. So I'll probably end up doing that. Honestly, he said I think his words were, "Oh, go ahead. I always suggest something at least once an episode," and I think he actually does because I've heard him suggest other people's stuff since then. So, but that's the battle map. It's not terribly big in terms of a full table size. It would just be super hard to ship that way without doing those kind of like multi-fold things where it like folds into squares. But what it is it's printed on a brochure. So it'll unfold kind of like an old dungeon map, which explains the back of it there. But yeah, you'll lay it on the table and you can still play on it, but I mean it's not terribly huge, but it is printed on a brochure, which I thought was pretty cool. So
yeah, because it's big enough that way everybody can like have their stuff on the table. Like I don't have a big table, not that you can see it because there's a whole bunch of stuff been piled up on it since forever.
So is my table.
But
I think that's tables.
It's just a normal size like pub table, so people could still like have their dice trays up there and everything, and play while they move the map. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just like a one page dedicated to like a story of this. It would be kind of like a modular. It would pretty much turn it into a modular to actually play something with whatever rules you like to play by, and just for people to like play something for fun with a different story.
Yeah, I came across D&D pretty early as a kid, and also fantasy. It's just always been a passion of mine. I was like 12-ish, I think. I mean, I don't know, when I was like 10 to 12, those were the years for me, the best years of my life. I'm kidding, but no. The first Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, came out, and my uncle took me to see that in theaters. And obviously that was a huge hit when that came out. And that weekend, it was like the three neighborhoods. There's like three roads growing up that were all right next to each other. And kids I had never, ever met, had never seen before, and had never seen after that weekend that The Fellowship came out. It was this massive, like all the kids in the neighborhoods just came out for a full-scale LARP war where we were using like curtain rods and, just random weapons, whatever you could find. And it was just squad skirmishes around the neighborhood of like sword fights, Lord of the Rings inspired. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, those same kids growing up gave me some D&D books. I think like 3rd edition Monster Manual and a DM manual. I remember just poring over that as a kid, and you got to love the art in that. So yeah, I'm a big fantasy guy for sure.
Yeah, I remember when, because I'm a lot older than you, but I remember when I was in middle school. That's when D&D came out, like around 6th, 7th grade for me.
Right on.
So the 80s. And
great times.
There was a small hobby shop across the street from my middle school, which wasn't the coolest thing across the street from my middle school at the time. There was a McDonald's right across the street, so of course the entire middle school used to congregate at the McDonald's in the morning. And I used to beg my mother for money for flapjacks. But I discovered this little hole in the wall hobby shop, and it was, they had like materials in there to build for like, planes and boats and, various other things that I didn't comprehend or anything. And then off in the corner was this this like cut off at the knees spinner rack with all the D&D books and manuals, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And of course my mother wouldn't buy it for me because that was evil. And
was that money. Like the Satanic Panic era, or was that a little bit before that or after?
That was it. Yeah. Not long after it came out, that and Kiss was all, Knights in Satan's service. I go, no, it's not. It's capitalists in makeup. That's all it is.
It's a rocking name, though. You can't deny the power of Knights in Satan's service. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's like
it's too catchy.
Like, it's like somebody in the media came up with that, and they're like,
Right.
cool,
We'll roll with it. Let's go.
yeah, let's get
Very silly, the whole thing.
let's get going, and and go down with it. It's like, but yeah, I used to go over there, and eventually other kids at the school realized, they're like, what are you doing in the hobby shop? He goes, they've got something in there called D&D. And they're like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons? My brother and his friends play that. And then they name drop the high school, and and I'm like, is it fun? He goes, you haven't played? Neither of you. Well, blah. And
right.
next thing you know, it was a race to to buy the books, and I had no means of money back then. Not for the lack of trying. I used to run around the neighborhood and try to make money, and everybody's like, goes, well, you can do that. I'm not going to pay you, but you can do that. And I'm like, oh.
Like, you can mow my lawn if you want, but you're not going to get paid. So it's like, well, damn.
So I was just like, ugh. And it was, this is how I worked out on, how to get money. And it translated that there's no way I'm going to be able to save up for a D&D hardcover book, at the age of like 13. But the little bit of money I could make can buy me more comic books. So that's what I did.
Right.
My mother would she wouldn't let me mow the lawn because she was afraid I would kill myself. And kudos, she was probably right. Until I got older, like when I was like 8 or 9, it's like my job was to pick up all the sticks, twigs, and rocks from the lawn, and she would give me $1.
Thanks,
and
Mom.
I would take that $1 in quarters. Because I would go and get one of my best friend's 2 little brothers to do all the work for $0.25 a piece.
Wow.
So I would get the 4 quarters. I would give Chris and Joey $0.25 a piece, and I would sit on the front stoop and supervise.
That is brilliant. Really, I mean, you can't argue with that.
And in turn, because comics at that point, there were still some on the rack for like $0.25 a piece, so I could still buy some of the older comics that were just sitting around at the bottom of the spinner rack that hadn't sold yet.
Right.
And if not, I could buy one this month, but next month, after I collected another 50 cents out of my $1, I could buy 2 the following month. So I'm like, okay.
Did you ever get any gems, like just sort of things that you found on that spinner rack for like 25 cents? You're like, oh my god, that might be worth something today.
A few things, some, not like a whole lot, but I remember I bought the very first issue of Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man with the tarantula on the cover.
Cool.
There. I bought one of the first Marvel books, not Spider-Man or Hulk, that I bought was, and I still love it to this day, is Super Villain Team Up number 17. Where Doom is standing on the cover with his cape flowing in the breeze, even though they're not outside, and with his arms crossed, as like all the Avengers and various other Marvel heroes are all bowing down to him.
I like it.
And it was a battle. It was with Doom and Magneto. And Magneto was trying to battle Doom, and it didn't go well. And it was just a book that I fell in love with, and I guess probably about 10, 15 years ago, I bought the trade of the entire supervillain team up series.
That sounds like fun, actually. A Doctor Doom. So was it Doctor Doom, Magneto teamed up, or were they versing each other?
They were kind of like fighting each other. I haven't read it in so long. I don't remember the exact premise, but that cover itself, like if I could find like a near mint copy, like a high grade copy of that book, it's not worth anything. But if I could find a high grade copy of that book, it being a top loader, displayed on my wall, because it's one of those books from my childhood that opened the what used to be the mighty Marvel machine, up to me. He goes, oh, there's something besides Spider-Man and the Hulk out there.
Right.
My first I fell in love with the X-Men, but I didn't know who the X-Men were until that episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, where Firestar, who never existed, and Iceman, who was never gay,
Yes.
went back to the mansion for a reunion tour, and for whatever reason, Wolverine was an Aussie and his claws were made to make shish kebabs. But then they fought the Juggernaut, and I was like, whoa. So my two favorite episodes of that cartoon was the X-Men appearance and the episode where all the Marvel heroes come together and the Chameleon traps them on this island in a castle. Which was
you said Wolverine was doing shish kebabs with his claws. That just made me. I was like, what would I do with claws? And I just see myself making corn dogs, just like maybe sliding some hot dogs on there and like getting it in the batter and just sort of dipping it in the fryer. Just making corn dogs on my claws. I love corn dogs.
Yeah, I'd be afraid. I was thinking. I go, ooh, marshmallows at the campfire. I'm like, ooh, claws, metal goes through body. I would superheat and die. I'm not sure I want to do that.
It's like, it hurts every time, kids.
Lorenzo says, Kiss came up to northern Michigan. The city of Cadillac even briefly changed the name of their main street to Kiss Boulevard.
Nice. Detroit Rock City, right? That was a Kiss tune. Also a movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a movie. I remember the Kiss movie, Kiss and Phantom of the Park.
Didn't see that one. Sounds good.
No.
The premise is so silly, though. Kiss and the Phantom of the Park. Is there a ghost in Central Park or something?
No, it was like an amusement park, like from the 70s, and it was basically like an old like version 1 of Scooby-Doo episode if they found a ghost at an amusement park.
Interesting.
And it was so cheesy. The whole thing was done by, of course, a Hollywood exec that had never listened to any Kiss, never seen Kiss, didn't know what metal music of the 70s and 80s was about, and said, this would be cool if they did that. This coming from the same people that thought it would be a good idea if Nicolas Cage was cast as Superman. And on the way to the Fortress of Solitude, he's not flying, he's walking, and then he beats up a couple of polar bears before he walks in.
Nicolas Cage as Superman does that? He beats up some polar bears?
No, that was the original plot from the Hollywood execs. What they wanted to see happen. And I'm like, thank God they never made that.
What a mess.
That was just terrible.
Lay off the cocaine, execs. Like, come on, guys. Let's make sense with the story here.
Yeah, I'm like, quit hanging out with Rob Liefeld. Come on. Oh, there I go talking out loud again.
Oh,
I
God.
guess it's what I do.
You're gonna get the Liefeld mob on us. Oh no. I do love the big
no,
90s style.
they'll just come after me, and I'm, yeah, I'm fine with that because I like Rob because he's good to his fans, but his Major X, really, just let it go, Rob. Let it go. Learn how to draw feet. Go see Scott Hanner and take some art classes and learn how to draw feet.
It's interesting that you do say that. I'll obviously never be as good as Rob Liefeld, but I did see that he did like an X-Force cover, a variant or something, where the foot, it was like very recently, and the foot, yeah, it really wasn't that good. It's like, man, you really can't draw feet. Like, what the hell? It's like, are you doing it on purpose at this point, just for the laughs?
Hey, Dory, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah, it was funny because we were talking about that. I do an art stream with Sean Howe on Wednesday nights, and he was just messing around with some stuff, with some ideas we were talking about, MAVRICS, and so he was screwing around with a couple of mechs, a couple of ideas and stuff, and he goes on to the second one, and he apparently got tired of drawing the feet. He wanted to cut a corner, so apparently the second one was standing behind a mountain peak, because that's what he drew the way. I go, oh my God, you just leaf field this piece.
If it works, it works, I suppose. I mean, good enough for Rob. I like his artwork because I really like. I just grew up in the 90s, so that Image meathead style I really like. But Deadpool, for some reason, that character has never hit with me. And I like, smart alecky. I mean, Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel hero. They're not, I mean, they both kind of talk smack, but I don't know. Like the fourth wall element of Deadpool, to me, it just doesn't entertain me. I mean, I probably sound like a stick in the mud, but I don't know. The movies didn't really do it for me. They're fun, sure, but as far as like the character, I just have a hard time kind of getting behind him. Deadpool. That's just me.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was buying New Mutants back then, and I went through a box and I found 97, 98, 99, and 100 altogether.
Wow.
Never read. I took them home and go, yeah, I don't even read this stuff. What do I buy it for? Bagged and boarded it and put it in a box, and that was it.
Wow.
But and I was like, wow. And everybody's like, you need to get that CG seed. I go, screw CGC. I have issues with the grading companies where they apparently, I don't know how CBCS does it, but they probably do it the same way. When CGC grades something for you, on top of charging you grading and shipping and all these other micro-aggressive fees, they also charge you have to pay them 10% of current market value of that book.
Jeez.
And I'm like, but what if you're not selling it? It seems like an aggressive move on their part to be like, well, now you've got to give us 10% because we know 90% of the people that get stuff graded are getting it graded so they can charge more money for it at convention stores, online, whatever. But then there's the rest of us that might be like, okay, this is a big book. I'm going to get it graded and put it in a graded box and keep it at home. That way it doesn't get any worse than it is. And it's, backed up on paperwork, whatever. He goes, nope, you got to give us 10% of what it's worth. I go, I just barely had the $45 in shipping to pay you. What the hell?
Does the other company do that? That seems like that's like
Yeah, I don't know.
almost like a scam in a way. Like you
Yeah.
have no choice, really.
I don't know if CBCS does it, but I'm sure they pretty much all do everything the same way, for the most part. I'd have to find out, but man, that's just like a kill. And the fact, because CGC was like the first big grading company that made it big.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all the CGC snobs out there. So if you get a 9.8 from New Mutants 98 is a 9.8 coming out of CGC,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get this, and you have the exact same book, exact same grade out of CBCS, they'll turn up their noses at if it's only available on a CBCS slab, they'll turn their noses up at it because it's not worth as much.
I see.
I'm like, no, that's just snobbery. I just don't like the whole thing.
Yeah, I could see that. It kind of seems like a market somebody that Mike could fill. It's like, look, we're not going to charge 10% on some nonsense. So here you go.
Yeah. So stop doing that.
Right. Hello,
so,
Lost Comics. Say hello there. How you doing? I'm glad you found us. You were lost, but now you're found here in the Creators Outlet.
Oh, that must be Lost in Comics. Hey, Chris. What's going on, buddy? Chris keeps putting up polls, choosing, this book or that book for this week. And it's always all mainstream. I go, neither. I canceled all of my books. Put up an indie poll.
Right. Yeah, I haven't been, like I said, X-Men Legends, that was one I was into for a minute. I was reading some of the Guardians of the Galaxy up until the Switch, where there was some countdown issue, yada yada. I don't know. I've definitely pulled away. The Last Ronin, I've read the first 2 issues of that. Really enjoyed that, but I haven't read any of the other Ninja Turtle stuff, so I don't know if it's holds up to like whatever. But I enjoyed it, The Last Ronin. But
yeah, I got the first issue, but never was able to get the rest. So I figure when the final issue of that comes out, or not long afterwards, that there'll be like a compiled trade with all of it.
it's interesting. I've heard that a few times, that people are having a hard time getting a hold of them. But my shop here locally, they have like just copies that sit on the shelves. Like, I don't know if they just order a lot, because it is definitely a big book, but yeah, they usually have like a couple stacks of whatever issue.
Well,
just doesn't sit down here.
Let me know, because I need 2 on down. I only bought number 1.
Sure. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look.
So let's see. Oh, Lorenzo, the polar bear idea sounds dumb, though.
If you take it though, take the polar bear idea. All right, Superman beats the hell out of a polar bear. What does the polar bear then do next? This is the polar bear's origin story. He gets beat up by Superman. Is he going supervillain? Does he fall into a vat of some kind of, snow, radioactive snow? And now he's Mega Bear. I don't know. It's you got to do something with the idea. Him just beating up a polar bear doesn't work. It's not a fair fight.
It's not really. It's like a schoolyard bully thing. And and more importantly, to the people from PETA come out and make big noise and try to block off, the theaters where it's being shown.
Oh God, PETA! They'll just burn it down. They'll burn the theater down.
Yeah, and like, goes, PETA? Oh yeah, PETA. People who eat and torture animals. They don't like that joke.
Yeah, I've heard they're nuts though. Like, maybe not your average whatever, but yeah, I've heard a few really insane stories, and I think like a few of them are listed as like quote unquote domestic terrorists. Like a few cells, like they're intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what happens when you get people that care more about animals than they do about people. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I like most animals more than I like most people.
Mhm.
But still, you know.
Gonna have to eat you though. Sorry, guys. The end of the
Yeah.
day. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a meat eater for sure. But yeah, as far as I think I'm kind of with everybody else. I'm not a huge fan of like big factory farms and those horrible videos. I was drinking. I know it's kind of almost for not really, but that milk company Fairlife. I was drinking some Fairlife milk for a while. They had really good chocolate milk. But there's been some videos that have surfaced of like the treatment of their cows, and it's really, really, really disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
And not to sound like one of those Karens, essentially, but it's like, guys, I don't want to buy this shit if you are treating animals like this. Like, you don't have to be absolute. You don't have to hire like, I don't know, the people that basically being a farmhand is one thing, but then also get like applying for a job where you get to beat up animals. That's kind of another thing. It's weird.
Yeah. Maybe don't go by the local prison to hire, the inmates just so you can get a tax break.
Right. Oh God. It's
So
gonna get your breaks.
the medieval deal is the big bonus, which is like is the $1 digital tier.
Correct. Yep. Yep. $1 digital. So like I said earlier, if the 11 pages, it's really like ultimately the goal is to get people to read my story. I want you to read the book and enjoy it. And if the 11 pages or the 16 pages are just because that's a fair critique really, but to increase the page count would kind of defeat the whole purpose of doing fun shots. So we put it as $1, and the next ones I'll probably keep it. Like I said, we're heavily influenced by Alterna. I wanted to actually get this printed on newsprint originally. I won't be able to this time around just because there's a lot of printer shakeups, and I'd rather just not get swept up in any kind of nonsense that might happen. But even still, yeah. Yeah, $1 digital. We'll keep doing that. And as far as the fun shots go, is on other campaigns, they'll be I'm gonna learn and adjust probably each campaign to try to make it, make more sense for everybody and have it, just the best that it can be. But yeah, this is definitely working out. People are taking to it. We've picked up I think 2 backers today,
Nice.
a few backers yesterday. Yeah, it's going along. We're I think at like 645. So I mean, I thought it was going to take the full 2 months to fund, and we got fully funded in the first 2 weeks. So
yeah,
big thanks to everybody.
Now is this your first 30?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
First 30.
First 30, and then you got to re-up. So okay.
Yep. And we'll run the campaign all the way until the end of the year, and that's when I'll pull it off. And I'm going to have it before it's down. I'll have it start getting the book in and printed and all I'll have everything in my hands before I shut it off. But yeah, we're looking for January and February to get everything to people all shipped out, and then from there I'd like to have my next campaign pre-launch up and just sort of keep the ball rolling. So that's the plan.
Yeah, that's cool. 33 backers.
Yeah. Thank you guys. You're gonna have a lot of fun if campaign. I'll definitely appreciate it. If you ever need to get a hold of me, actually, let's talk about this real quick. If you'll scroll down just a touch, I have 2 really great tiers that are artist commission tiers. It's these where it says plus featured tier right here. Mm-hmm. So with these 2 commissions, it's Anthony Gambino. He's my colorist, but he's also an artist for Marvel. He's a graphic designer, but he's also does comic books. And he's, like I said, he's got a sketchbook out. Those 3 pieces on that Anthony Gambino commission, those are actually his. So that's a little taste of his work there. There's a difference between these 2 tiers. Both of them include the featured perk, which is the $15 campaign.
Yeah.
Jacob, since he lives in Australia, his does not include the physical page. Anthony's, since he lives in the US, does. The difference being, Jacob said to able to mail the physical page, he really did color and render the whole page. So Anthony's is the pencil and ink along with the campaign commission, right? And then Jacob's will be a, on a, it's just, we didn't want to deal with the shipping because I didn't do internet shipping on this, so I tried to keep that but Jacob said he'll colors for the one. So same as Anthony, for either one of these tiers, you'll get full campaign, and then whatever you please. If on make just so these guys have to, get like that, get weirdos, but it's just a laugh. And you'll get some great art.
You just completely roboted through that whole thing for me.
Oh, that's okay. I'll happily repeat it if the chat. So basically, what it is, am I better? By the way, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So what it is either one of these campaign perks right here, the $100. They're both $100. They both include the featured tier, which is our $15 perk. So you'll get the patch, the book, all the prints, all that stuff. The difference between the two is since Jacob Whittingham lives in Australia and the shipping cost is,
astronomical.
Yeah. And I'm not at all for this campaign shipping internationally, which is a shame because I've actually through Comics Gate, I've made lots of international friends, and I've got a few people on this campaign that are international that can't back just because I'm not shipping international. But for that reason, though, Jacob, he said he will, because Anthony's piece, it includes you get the physical tier, right? You get the $15 bonus pack or whatever, and then you also get the pencil and ink art. So you'll get the physical page from Anthony for $100. With Jacob, because he lives in Australia, to compensate for that, he said he'll do a fully rendered piece. So you'll get the pencil, ink, and all the way up to fully colored, whatever you like, just to sort of compensate. And if you'd like to buy the piece, you just have to. I mean, I guess he'd have to print it out for you unless you wanted the physical. He does do like our cover, Jacob. He did the pencil and ink physically, and then he took it in digitally to color. That might be something we could work out, but he said he'd just as happily color the whole thing for you for the 100. So
since Jacob's doing the digital, would that would that be more like you getting an NFT?
Well, I suppose in a sense it's like an NFT. I mean, it is it's not something Jacob would be replicating, and it's not something we would turn around and I wouldn't even have my hands on. That would go between Jacob and them. So in a way, it's a custom piece of art. We were actually sort of looking at NFTs because it was a thing that's interesting, but I was sort of like considering one-page comics as NFTs. But there's already people in the comic NFT biz, and I was like, all right, I'll just focus on the campaign. But essentially, in a way, yeah, it's a commissioned piece, whatever you like, and also the stranger the better. So pick something really crazy and strange just to make their lives more fun. But yeah,
and just not Margaret Thatcher fucking a goat.
Probably not that. That's where we could draw the line. Anything other than that is fine.
Nothing that you could see on Pornhub can be requested. Yeah,
just because I'm sure they might have a laugh, but I'm not sure if they'd be like, all right, Ginge, I'll do this one, but it's going to be a foot up your ass next time.
It'd be funny, but I'm not doing that.
Right.
Yep.
We actually did have one. Sorry, go ahead.
I just think it's cool because these guys are doing a commission for really short money, and it's an 11 by 17 piece, so it's like comic book size.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's pretty much like A4 size. So it's like it's a good size commission. You're not getting like a Bristol board size like you might at a convention, but you're also not paying them like $500 to $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Anthony, his artwork, Jacob's artwork is fantastic as well. That that Chainsaw Massacre piece in the middle of Jacob's commission. That's one of his most latest things that he just did, so we had to throw that up there. But that Venturous piece right to the left is how I discovered Jacob. I saw that and was like, ooh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Right. And yeah, he nailed it. So you'll definitely get, whatever you want, fully colored. And then Anthony, his artwork, Anthony, that dude he's gotten quite a bit of money out of me just because I like to commission him for stuff. He put up this him and Dave Schwartz, who did Confederate Monsters. He also did this book called Terry, which is, or Buddy, I think it's called, like this little, it's like a pug meets The Exorcist, and I really love that, so I had to back it. But Dave Schwartz and Anthony Gambino did this mashup piece for Anthony's campaign, and Anthony was going to put it on the campaign as like, a perk, basically just like this. And it's Anthony drew this really great Wolfman, pencil and ink, and then Dave drew this fantastic Dracula with like the bats or the cape, and it just looks really great. And Anthony was going to put it up on the campaign page, but like right after he showed it, like after the stream that he was on, I just went ahead and messaged him. I was like, hey buddy, I'm going to need that piece, so like don't even bother.
So you're nice.
Yeah, I loved it. I love both of their work, and I'm a horror nut. I'm a monster guy, so and also, I mean, I don't have it yet. I'm waiting for Anthony to send it to me, but he's done a lot more work on it. I'll definitely show it off. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I like his work. I would describe, just from the three pieces up here, I would describe Anthony's art as more hellish than Hellboy.
He's a big Mignola guy for sure. That was like one of the things when Anthony's really great because he has great customer service skills. Like I backed his book, and I guess he had just seen my name on Twitter, just in the chats or whatever. But I backed his book, and then he sent me a message thanking me, and I was really stuck with me. So yeah, then we chatted, and I was just getting into art. So he sent me some pencils, and I inked over that, and yeah, and I was like, all right, I got to get this dude on a book before somebody else snatches him up.
Yeah, I actually got like my first thank you, handwritten thank you note from a campaign from Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon. I backed their Heirs of Isildur, and it's Heirs of Isildur and Tales from Nocturnia. It's like two different stories, but they did a thing where both universes kind of like merge. One's like a 152 page graphic novel because I get the catch up tier, and the other one's like almost a 300 page graphic novel.
Hell yeah!
With all the issues, and then I bought like the new issue. It was like a single issue that this one was for, but thanks to Stimmy payments, I was actually able to pledge what was the most money I ever spent on a crowdfunding campaign to their campaign, and it also comes with music.
Very cool.
He puts, he's in a band, but he puts together a band. He's like all like, super metal with like some punk mixed in. And, they do a full soundtrack, and then in the back of the book is actually a full lyrics page. Like it's got the lyrics for every song on the album. I bought the album, and I bought it on a collectible piece of splatter vinyl.
Sweet.
But his friend Corey Steger, who's played guitar with him since they were kids, he laid down tracks, and then 11 days later ended up laying down his life. He was killed in a horrific car accident from somebody who ran a red light. And so sadly, that was the last piece of music that he ever played. But the coolest thing that Matt and Steph did is they got a hold of an artist friend of theirs, and they commissioned a special memorial cover for Corey. And all the proceeds from that cover were all donated to Corey's family to help them out with bills and everything.
That's great.
And I just want to flash it up there real quick because
Sure.
they put him sitting on the Iron Throne like Game of Thrones,
Hell
but
yeah.
but it's all made up of all the guitars he has ever owned.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a pure metal chair. You can't beat it.
Yeah. This one will end up in a plastic coffin because I bought the regular cover and I put that on as an add-on. So you know,
that's a great little tribute too. I mean, that would be really a tragedy. I mean, to lose a friend like that. I live kind of a major highway that runs through Florida. It's just people drive like nuts for some reason, especially on that road. And like during the summertime, we had like a couple months last year where at least once a week there was somebody dying in a car wreck. Like people just speed. It's 55 miles an hour, but people have just been losing it around here. We had a hurricane in 2018 that did a lot of damage to the town. So, it brought in a lot of people, which makes sense to a lot of contractors and yada, yada. But since then, the traffic has just been
out of
brutal.
Control.
Yeah, it hasn't gone back to normal. So it's been car wrecks. It's like my girlfriend drives like a complete. My neighbors have said, "quote She drives like a bat out of hell." It's like I know. I try to tell her.
Now I'm hearing Meatloaf play in the back of my head.
I won't do. What is it? I'll do. What is it? I won't do.
I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Yeah. And on a side note, that same song spurned all kinds of geeky memes on the internet.
Dude, that's such a great video. I remember watching that for the first time not that long ago, probably like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I was just totally enamored. I'm like, this is a full story. And this dude, he's poetic in a way, Meatloaf. A guy named Meatloaf. I like that guy.
Yeah, it was a great video. It's like I love the memes. I'll do anything for love. Get rid of your comic collection, but I won't do that.
Yeah, that's you gotta have a line somewhere. Sorry,
yeah.
ladies.
And now, of course, I am doing that because I'm selling most of my comics. Because I went through a phase. I was the guy that would go into the LCS, look at the big wall with all the new releases, and buy at least one of everything. And now I am selling almost one of everything. So.
I get it. That's partially. I'm sort of in the same boat, really. It's like I like to catch up on story. So for most things, like if I go to the shop and they've got like 4 or 5 back issues of like something that I just want to read one issue of, it's like all right. They can usually talk me into getting like 3 times more comics than I meant to originally.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know those days because I get stupid in my mouth. Oh, this is new. What's this about, dude? You go. Oh, that sounds cool. Okay. Oh, it's number 1. I better buy like 3 copies.
That's the problem, though. It's like so many great premises out there, and some of them, I guess, that's just the nature of writing. Though it's like everything's kind of a gamble when you're purchasing a book. But yeah, so many great premises, and so little cash. So little of them also actually stick to landing too. So it's kind of that toss up.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have started out that had like a good start. Like I think every major like crossover event that Marvel has done in like the last 20 years start off sounding cool, and even like the first issue will be cool. But I don't think any of them did it. And I think like one time the original Age of Apocalypse storyline was the last one that stands out to me as epic. And I mean, I liked Hickman's take on Secret Wars, and Doom was like God of the universe dressed in white and married to Sue and all this crazy stuff.
Man.
But he did like a million different they did a million different like mini series in that, like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 6 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the mini series were better than the actual series, even though they were all tied together. But the ending of it was kind of like, bleh. You know, it was like, it was like really good all the way through. And then it gets to like, you know, the second to last issue. It's like, and, you know, they ran out of space to keep going, you know, balls to the wall, and ended up being like, oh, and Doom realizes he's a bad guy and loses.
Like, okay,
what? That's stupid. I'm done.
You
know?
Yeah, I've not got super familiar with Doctor Doom in terms of like, you know, reading a lot of Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear, especially lately, that he's quote unquote Marvel's greatest villain. So I really would like to, you know, dive in, make some good Doom stories.
Well, I discovered him in, of all things, the Amazing Spider-Man daily strips. He was like the first major villain that I discovered when I was a little kid. You know,
cool.
next to Joker. So Joker and Doctor Doom are my two favorite characters. You know, so Elon Musk, would you please buy both of those comic companies, straighten their asses out, and force them to do, you know, you know, make them hire Frank Miller to write a Doom and Joker team up.
That would be nuts.
Where the heroes die.
You know what I did read recently that was mainstream that I liked? The Three Jokers. You said Jokers. That jogged my memory. I really liked that. I'm a big Batman fan, and also the Killing Joke. I absolutely love that. I'm pretty normie there. So I loved what was it? Jason Fabok did the art. Absolutely nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it all the way up until the end, which is kind of some people thought was. I mean, I forget. I watched the review and somebody made a point why they didn't like the ending. I don't recall what it was, but I liked it. I remember enjoying it. I think basically Batman decides to let Joe Chill go or whatever, or you know, he just sort of understands it. To me, I was like, this is full circle for this character's trauma in a way. I mean, him going out and still whooping ass, that's a separate issue at that point, but I do feel like that was a really great note to you know, just the whole thing. Really, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's been some great stories. It's just, you know, they've been going downhill for a while, and all the crap that they started doing this year, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, Robin comes out of the closet as gay. You know, the same Robin who has dated 7 women.
That's the part I love the most. It's like the dude is a ladies' man, and they've purposefully kind of turned him into femboy with blush, like the little eye anime boy blush marks, which I love anime, but I'm not a fan of like weird yaoi stuff. Honestly, they've let a yaoi writer get in on it, which with them moving to webtoons, I think it's DC that just moved to webtoons. I'm pretty sure, like my girlfriend reads webtoons. A lot of that is, I mean, there's some stuff on there that's probably, you know, not a lot of that kind of like preteen nonsense, but a lot of that's like preteen stuff. So, I mean, with a lot of writers leaving, it doesn't look great. I don't think. I mean, they're always going to be around. Personally, I don't believe DC or Marvel will shut down, quote unquote. I did notice that IDW and Marvel have a Spider-Man license. I just saw that today. So that'll be the thing that happens, I guess. But maybe that's a good thing, really. But
well, IDW does a lot of their printing too.
Like, a lot of Marvel's printing.
Like their big collections, like the hardcovers.
Oh.
Like the like the artist editions, like the big giant oversized beautiful artist editions. Stuff like that. IDW like does their printing. Lorenzo says perhaps the big two should stick to publishing collections of classic comics.
That's an interesting idea, and I've actually got my eye on a collection. I guess they put it out some time ago, but they did two versions of the original was it Morbius the Living Vampire from like maybe the 70s or 80s. I think it's called the Epic Collection. I kind of want to get those just to try out Morbius. I'm a fan. I don't like Jared Leto. I just don't like his acting, honestly.
Can't stand him.
His version of the Joker. That we probably don't even really need to discuss it.
Nope.
It was just one. I'll give him credit in terms of like, or how about this? I will say that the script was not his fault. Him having bling and, damage, that's not his fault. And for that, I blame the director. But where I think he's, kind of an idiot was where he wanted to be like Mr. Method Actor. And I've heard stories of him sending dead rats and used condoms to his co-stars in the mail. It's like I get that you're in character, and I don't outright not like people that are method actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, that's the big one, that's the man. But you come across more as like a Hot Topic sales toy, really. And so maybe I get he wants to be an actor. For that, all right, fine. You want to be an actor and you want to take the role as an art seriously, okay. But I don't know. There's just something not jokery about sending. I get it's a joke. Haha. You send them condoms and dead rats, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe the Joker would do that, but that just didn't tickle me the right way. I was like, you're trying too hard, man.
Yeah, I would have brought him to work, and I would have shoved the dead rat up his ass and put the condom over his head until he stopped breathing.
Like, here you go, buddy. Here's your stuff.
That was just a joke, YouTube.
Oh, God.
Lorenzo, the thing about anime and manga is there's a wide variety of genres to choose from. Yes.
Right. Yep, that's the great thing about it, really. We watched how heavy are the dumbbells that you lift. It's a exercise anime, and each episode focuses on like different legitimate principles of like exercise, all while sort of wrapping it up in a story. And you've got your classic like the gym coach. He's just a really small dude, but then when he flexes, he's like humongous, and his clothes rip off his body. It's funny. But there's that. You've got bass fishing anime.
Yeah, I'm like, there's books about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my friend Nick, he got fed up with comic books, and he made a lot of money in comics because he has friends that are in the know, and dealers and store owners that he did shows with. They'd be like, look, I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to give you my discount. You want to buy some of these books? I don't give a shit about them. No, you want to buy some of these books. And they were, speculative books that, the day they got released, shot up to like, $800.
Right on. Oh yeah.
But,
that's a friend yeah. Indeed.
Oh yeah. He works a real job, a real tough job. He works high steel in Boston, and every once in a while they're not allowed to bring their cell phones with them on the job. And once in a while he sneaks his in, and then he'll be like 2,000 feet above the pavement, being like, "Look what I got to deal with today." I'm like, "No, I'm scared of heights. Stop it." You're like 6'2". I go, "Yeah, that's why I'm scared of heights." Because when you're 6'2", when you're over 6 feet, it takes longer when you're going to fall before you hit the ground. Up that high, forget it.
I'm in heights all day, man. Trust me, I know. I'm 6'2". I wish I was 6 foot. I'm 5'8". I'm 5'9" with shoes on. My little brother's like 6'4". He's 18, and it pretty much just tripled in size overnight. One day, I was like, "Oh man, you're humongous now."
I was a DJ for like 30 years, so I'd be like sitting down in the DJ booth, and then somebody would turn around and ask me something, and I would spin around on the stool and stand up and like, "Wow, how tall are you?" 6'2", 6'9" in heels. They'd be like, it was 90% of the time they just laugh with me because it was a joke. I don't own heels, and every once in a while, guys would legitimately get like a terrified look on their face and start with one of these. But
Yeah, I worked at a strip club as well. I think we sort of maybe discussed this at one point. I was a DJ too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
hmm It was fun. It was a good 2 years. Then you get a girlfriend, and the fun, comes to an end, of course.
Yeah, I had that I had that happen a couple of times where it was like, "Do you love me?" Yeah. Then you better quit that job. Well, apparently you don't like eating. It's
Yeah,
me. It's me of a job. I go, well, you know where the door is.
yeah. Luckily at the time, so Panama City is where I live, and we have Panama City Beach, which is like a big. It's not as big as it used to be, but it used to be like a big, huge spot for spring break. We have a couple of nightclubs here that are, like whatever, a big deal, blah blah. But
Mhm.
yeah, our city though, and actually I'm kind of thankful for this, to be honest. Just the older I've gotten, I'm like, all right, thankfully, I've got people around here that are, like concerned with sort of the moral fabric of this, of the community we live in. But yeah, at the time there was like spring break and a big, huge, like drunken, everybody just gets super messed up on the beach. And yeah, some girl, just a whole mess happened out on the beach with a girl and a bunch of dudes. And yeah, that's going to cause a bunch of waves. So they really put a bunch of like parameters on the way that the clubs can operate, like what times and stuff like that. So we were losing a ton of money, and I wasn't really making money anymore. So I was like, and my girlfriend was like, all right, we can just find something else. Thankfully she wasn't more like, it was more out of just necessity than, because I mean, she kind of had fun at the strip club too, I'll be honest. Like, you have fun.
Yeah, I'm still in contact with a bunch of people that I worked with. Well, the last club I was at, I was there for like 13 years.
Hmm.
I had been fired 3 times, but in that business, until you're fired and rehired from the same place, you're not considered an actual employee. So,
Yeah, I get it.
but it is what it is. I had a blast. I always wanted to be a DJ since I was a kid,
hmm
and until I learned, because I wanted to be a DJ on the radio, of course, and until I learned that there was something called internships, and and I'm like, we want you to work for us. Great. As an intern. As a what? Don't you mean a DJ? He goes, no, an intern. Well, what's that? He goes, well, that's where you become slave labor and you don't get any pay.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's
I'm
like,
like,
no pay,
yeah.
guys.
I'm like, yeah. Fuck that.
Right.
And don't ever call me again. And then I showed up one day and they're like, yeah, we need a DJ. You know anybody? I go, yeah, I'm a DJ.
hmm
And apparently I could have like saved a whole bunch of money from going to college and just been like, just lied and told people I was a DJ and then just showed up instead of playing, stop mixing music like I did at home. And
Right.
I had the job. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, my first night of work, I had no idea what I was doing. Me too, in terms of wanting to always be a DJ. It's just something like, as a kid, I remember LimeWire. I don't know if you remember LimeWire, like that
Yep.
pirating program. Got a hold of virtual DJ really early as a kid, just for fun, whatever. Yeah, I was actually a door guy at Club La Vila, which is the big nightclub here. And my best friend was also a door guy. He's the dude that got me the job. Our manager got a job at the strip club and then got promoted to manager there. And basically, he needed staff, and that's how we got in. Their DJ was quitting, and when I met him for the first time, the guy that I replaced, he hated the job. I was like, "What are you talking about? This is great." And he's like, "Oh, you'll see." And I can't say that I hated it after the fact, but really, I mean, you probably can kind of attest to this. Really, I think sort of the worst part is just having to fight strippers for money. It's like they're a wily bunch.
Trying to fight them for money and fight with them to go on stage when you call them.
Right.
Yeah.
hmm
Because they'll wait around, especially the ones that have like regular customers.
Yeah.
You know, they're sugar daddies, the guys that
Uh-huh.
think they're actually dating them. Look, if you have to, if the only time you see your girlfriend is when you show up at her work, she's not your girlfriend. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, I mean, with me, it was kind of like a system, sort of, is like, depending on how hard you work. And if you're a regular, like a regular dancer at the club, it was like, it just depends on our relationship. Like, you know, there was a few girls, just a small handful that I felt like I could trust in terms of like, she's always on stage whenever I need her. And even when because, you know, you're counting the money, where the DJ booth was at, it was right over the VIP. So part of my job was I could see the stage. So you count the money on stage, and then you keep track of everybody's dances. So at the end of the night, you know, you tally your stuff up and get your money. Yeah. And there's really one girl in particular out of like the freaking, like Davy Jones' locker crew in the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, when you spend too long on the Flying Dutchman and you just start barnacling to the wall, and then like new customers come in and they just rip off the wall, part of the ship, part of the crew, right? Just those old vets. But yeah, one girl in particular, Raven, got stripper name. She was always really solid. So that's the one I remember most fondly.
Yeah, I got a few solid ones that I still, you know, that I still talk to on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, it was because our owner was a stickler for things, and he micromanaged everything.
He gets.
And he was always there. He was never home. He would show up at like 3:30 every afternoon, and he would be there past close.
My God.
I mean, if he didn't think you were switching up the lights enough, and that would include even though you were switching up the lights, but he was busy talking to customers all around the bars and buying them drinks and not paying attention to anything but the customers.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked up when he first came in, and this pattern was on. And 45 minutes later, he looks up, and that pattern is still on. It wasn't still on; it was back around to it. But you know, he'd still, you know. But you know, overall, he treated me, you know, fairly, except for one time he thought I was lying to him, and I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. You know, everything is, well, what's it like getting adjusted to, you know, life in a wheelchair? And I'm like, it kind of sucked until I got an automated wheelchair. I go, it's kind of like a hidden miracle. I no longer have to work in the strip club industry. And because of all my medical issues now, I no longer have to work. I'm just like permanently disabled. And, you know, I really, you know, I couldn't work enough to pretty much do anything, because, you know, some days I'll just, you know, I'll have a sandwich for lunch and I'll pass out. Next thing I know, it's like 3:00 the following day.
Damn.
And, you know.
Wow.
So, and then I'll just, you know, and then I have this terrible case of fucking Tourette's. No, I don't. I just like saying fucking.
Yeah, I will say this has been one of the more laid back shows, just because you can cuss. I have a potty mouth in real life. I love to cuss, even when I try not to. But I've been really good about it on streams, just because I want to be professional. But yeah, on my own channel, I'm not worried about YouTube monetization. I have a YouTube. It's I think we're like, me and Pedro, the dude that did my trailer, we have a Sunday morning show. I think we're coming up on episode 6 of that. I do some draw streams, but yeah, it's, you know, pretty much say whatever you want. I even the old F word, like I don't really care.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, and I'm like, you know, if they don't go down the road, I won't go down the road. So I have some episodes, you know, up on the podcast network that are labeled clean, and others that are labeled explicit. And when they go explicit, they really mean explicit. You know, a lot worse than Pops calling me a dick, or me calling him a cunt. He'll listen back to this and be like, "You mother!" I go, Do you want me to come and help out on CromCon this weekend? Oh, yeah. You're a great guy. Yeah.
You got him by the short hairs with the CromCon.
Oh, I keep telling him, he's, don't meet me in real life. If you fall asleep, I'm liable to just shave the back of your head.
Oh God.
I would at least, I saw a prank online where somebody takes their iPhone and real loud they're playing the audio of bobber clippers, and they just go up the back of this woman was, this girl was washing dishes, and her roommate or friend or whatever comes up with her iPhone, is going zzz, and runs it quickly up like the back of her skull.
Oh God.
And sets her into like a panic. You could see her like turning shades of the chameleon as she's running down the hallway. I didn't do anything. It was a prank. Ah!
Oh, was it just clipper noise, or did she actually buzz her head?
Well, she buzzed her head with the iPhone, which is not a clipper.
Yes.
So it's the sensation of tactile and the sound. So
right. Yep, that's not a very nice prank.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, my fellow Ginger Jesus.
It's the official Ginger.
Good to see you, sir.
What's going on, brother? Good morning to you, I take it. Yes. Good morning. Over there.
Right. Yep. Good old Ginger Jesus.
Mike is getting ready to send out all his fulfillment on Life on Korra 4 this week. So I shall soon have another. I will soon have another tremendously oversized book to go with these. So
I definitely like Mike's work ethic in terms of going straight from Korra 3 to 4. Mike, are you going straight to 5 after that? You just hustling right along?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're already working on it.
Yeah.
Still waiting on those bloody patches before you can mail out. I got a bunch of extra stuff coming too, because I did the crossover. So I backed Tailless and
Nice.
Life on Korra.
Very
So
cool. That's a
I
combo.
I got the poster, and I like the idea too. It was the Tailless spacecraft flying a loop around Life on Korra. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm starting on 5-2. It's been slower since I've had to work full time on other things.
Right on. Very cool.
Lorenzo. Yeah, because Wednesday afternoon, I've got a writer from the UK that's on the book that Mike is going to be publisher for.
Cool.
That
right on.
Kind of like an anime feel to it, like Korean pop, kind of like, I guess, romance story or something. I'm not sure. I'll find out more Wednesday.
Sounds good. Nothing wrong with some romance. Little love in your life.
11 p.m. here. He's gotta head off to bed. Hey, well,
good night, Lorenzo.
Good night, Lorenzo. Thanks for coming by. Hope you've given your consideration to backing spells and superheroes.
That would be great.
Good night, everyone. It's a K-drama.
It's a bold choice. I like it. Producing a K-drama.
K-drama. Well, my daughter's name is Kirsten, and her preferred name of choice, nickname, is K. So that could be like every day for me. Like,
just flipping through the pages of Will's life.
Yeah.
K-drama.
Apparently, while she was cleaning her phone case, she dropped her glasses, and they went into the garbage disposal, and the frame broke.
Oh my! That's like a Rube
really
Goldberg
is. Tell my
machine.
writer. Yeah. Well, my child, like myself, is accident prone, and her mother gets mad because her mother did the same thing when she was her age with glasses, would break them or lose them on a regular basis, and she's just using. I think she's just using my daughter to take it out on me or something. And I'm like, isn't there a warranty on those? You do know there are. It's just the frame. I go, yeah, but they don't have the frame in stock. They have to order it. They go, well, then you go to a crappy place.
There's lots of good places online for like Zennies, I think, is one that is a good spot. As long as you have your prescription, you can get frames for super cheap, and they look pretty great. I mean, there's all kinds of frames.
It's a kid with a K-drama. It's a kid with glasses. Yeah, I know. And she didn't tell me that she did that. She told me she wasn't wearing her glasses because her nose hurt. Because she knew she would have been in trouble with me because, of course, like on cue, anything like that happens. And, as soon as the mother finds out, she's, up my ass like a ferret.
Wow. Not even a gerbil. Skip straight over the gerbil and get to the ferret.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember who was famous for the gerbil thing, so I couldn't make that comparison.
I have no idea. All I just know is that gerbils are typically used for two things.
Richard Gere. Richard Gere was famous because a gerbil, his pet gerbil, disappeared someplace, shall we say? That was probably before your time. You were probably just a kid when that happened. So
this is what I know of gerbils. Basically, they're good for two things: butt play, and they're basically just there to watch you have fun. You put them in the cage, and they're just watching you do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, butt. But I mean,
I'll stay away from that.
For now,
I'd break or lose. Mike would break or lose his glasses every 3 months as a kid. Yeah, she breaks or loses her glasses every 3 days. So that's an issue, and she gets all mad because I'm like, there's a warranty on them. Yeah, but they've replaced them 3 times already.
Right.
Because even if they honor the warranty, they have to honor the warranty. Every time they replace them, you now have a new set of frames with a new warranty. So the time beforehand with the warranty doesn't mean anything anymore. That's been resolved, as we say in the gaming field.
There you go.
And I just pull stuff out of my hat like that. And it moves on from there. I'm like, stop. I know you want to be angry at me for like everything, but
How old's your kid?
13.
Oh, okay. Still young, and actually at the fun age of 13 there, turning a teenager.
Oh, yeah. But she's into art, and all she wanted for her birthday this year was a new art program, and she really likes it, and she's getting into it. She's doing like she likes anime and and manga, but her style is more cartoony. Very and she likes animals, so she likes drawing the furries. Not that kind of furries, you dirty bastards.
No, this is a kid, everybody. Come on.
Right. The cute kind of furries.
There is a really fine line with like furry art, and it's typically like, as long as there's not a giant throbbing or like a huge set of tits, it usually passes muster with me. But as soon as I start seeing veins or like a 6-pack set of abs, I'm like, all right, next picture, I'm done.
Yeah, I already know what this is about. I'm out of here.
Right.
There we go, Mike. Cartoon creatures. That's all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we already talked about this, but the Adventurous pack is $10. You get everything but Frankie B. Washington's patch.
Correct.
For another $5, you get the featured tier with the patch.
Correct. Yep.
Get the patch.
Yep. Frankie's patch, he did a great job. Actually, on his YouTube, he was kind enough to record his process. So he's got the pencil inks. And if I'm not mistaken, he even recorded the digital coloring session. I don't recall exactly, but it's definitely on his YouTube channel. He's got a few different versions. He's got the full version, which is like 17 minutes. And then he's got like a couple quick ones. But yeah, great stuff. Frankie's a super professional guy. That's one of the things that brought me to him, was hearing him speak on other YouTube streams. He's just super knowledgeable, has been around forever, and, you know, is definitely an absolute professional. Like,
oh yeah,
loved working with him.
He's worked on lots of indie books. He did the story it came out on a Wednesday from Peter Cimetti's company, and it was kind of like a spoof on Groot. It was called Log.
Oh, Log, right? Actually, let's see. They had a draw night either on Geronimo's stream, Robert Geronimo, the Blood Realm guy, and it was a Log. Let's see. Here we go. There's my log. Dropped my log.
There you go,
everybody.
Log. Now I'm going back to Ren and Stimpy. Log, 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 log.
Ren and Stimpy was just a little bit before my time, but I have caught like random snippets of it, and I'm like, why haven't I watched this yet?
Oh, it's so wrong that it's right.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
Thank you, Jimmy.
What, you know, I still have, and I bought it on a whim, but I have the issue of the Ren and Stimpy comic with Powdered Toast Man battles Spider-Man.
Wow,
and
it's quite a matchup
on the cover. And I'm just like, I don't know why I bought this. It's stupid.
Right.
It's really stupid. Why do you watch the show? Because it's stupid. Oh yeah, okay. But one of the greatest things that's ever come out of that show is a joke that I use, and it's usually at the most inappropriate times. And the punchline is because it stays crunchy in milk. Because Stimpy is a big fat cat, you know, so he is, you know,
like
probably,
some milk.
You know, probably the illegitimate son of Fritz the cat. But Ren found out about a contest for kitty litter that would get them something like, you know, a cash reward and food or free kitty litter, whatever. And he had to write, you know, he had to try it out and you know, write like an essay, you know, a short essay on, you know, why he liked this brand. And it was, you know, it was a spoof on the old ad campaigns from like the 40s and 50s. And he liked this crazy name brand of kitty litter because it stayed crunchy in milk.
All right.
And you're like, wow, I thought it was going to be funnier than that. Well, when you think about it, you know, it's silly, you know, really stupid funny. But you know, one day you'll get to see I'll find the episode online and I'll send you a link or something.
That'd be great.
And you can see it and you'd be like, well, he's right. This is stupid, but that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I love to laugh. I mean, that's the whole reason I have this mustache. Like, this mustache should have been off my face about 6 months ago, roughly, but I've just let it grow out because it doesn't connect to my lip. So it's just like these cowboy tassels that blow in the wind. And sometimes when I turn around and people see my face and my mustache, they laugh. So I just keep it for that reason.
You're all set up as a ginger version of Snidely Whiplash.
I'm actually getting ready. There's one perk here, or I guess not a perk. What do they call it? A stretch goal. My final stretch goal at 2,500. I'm going to shave a 1-inch patch directly down the center of my face.
Oh God.
And I'll just keep it for a week. It's the reverse Hitler, but I didn't want to write reverse Hitler because I just didn't want to have Hitler like in the words of my campaign. But it'll be fun. I don't think we'll hit that much, but I mean, I might do it anyways, just for the laughs. I'm a clown, I think. Happy birthday, Mike. Sorry about that, buddy. I saw that. Happy birthday, sir.
Is it really your birthday?
You're just trying to get birthday points. I see.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to score birthday points. What's going on here?
You want to get a free cake? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, I know. I go to look at Facebook real quick and I go, oh, well, the birthday announcements aren't going to be up until after midnight our time. So,
right.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
But I will wish you a happy birthday now. And if it is truly your birthday, I will type happy birthday and put a meme or a funny gif or something.
Right.
Yeah, it is August 25th. That's right. Because Mike Jimmy lives in the future.
All right. That time zone gap. My artist is Australian, and he's like, it's like 12 hours ahead of us or something. Basically, when it's when I'm waking up, he's going to bed. So we've been trying to get on some streams together. It's been difficult for that reason, but aside from that, you just them damn Australians. Talking to you, Jacob.
Yeah, because I had a guy who goes. His screen name is SK, and he does art, writing, lettering. He had put out his own book. Yeah, time zones are real. It's crazy.
Strangest thing.
He had a campaign up like early last year that was about halfway through, and I had him on, and I didn't know he was from Australia, and he came on, and it was like the next day at his lunch break. All the blinds in his office were closed, but the sun was still beaming through them.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh, it's still daytime where you are. He goes, it is almost a day and a half past where you are. I go, oh, you're down under. He's like, yep. You don't sound down under. He goes, I don't look down under either. And I'm just like, yep, that's that's pretty legit right there. So yeah.
G'day, mates.
That's not a knife.
Right. Actually, this is since it's been difficult to get a hold of Jacob for streams, I've had to bring in a stand-in. This is my Jacob Whittingham stand-in.
And he brought a friend.
You don't leave home without these. As an Australian, they actually will arrest you for that. That's a big no-no.
Oh yeah. This is a knife.
That's a knife. It's all about the knife. Knife.
The knife. And the shrimps on the Barbie.
Right.
And then of course somebody would actually put an actual shrimp on a Barbie and take a picture.
Well, I'm surprised we don't have or maybe we do, and it just hasn't hit the States, but a Crocodile Dundee reboot. That's one that the whole world's clamoring for, I'm sure. I want to do the next Coneheads movie. Somebody give me the keys to Coneheads. Oh.
You get another backer. You're up to 34 backers.
We did. Hey, excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Whoever backed. God bless you. Fantastic.
I think that might have been Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, buddy.
Lorenzo is a big supporter.
Respect. Thank you so much.
Of many creators. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, right on. We're coming right up on 700 here.
Yeah. No, Will, before you ask, it wasn't me pledging.
Well, we'll have to let you slide this time. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's all good.
You know, I'm interested in it, so you may see my name pop up on the list because I like both superheroes and D&D, and I broke my cherry on on micro mini on the mini comic, I guess, with Tailless, because that's just a collection of a whole bunch of mini comics. So
right on.
And I wouldn't call it a mini comic as much as I would call it like an ash can.
This or the Tailless?
Either one.
Yeah, ash can, that's actually a new term to me, honestly. I hadn't heard of those. I assume it's basically just like a mini comic in a way, I guess, but like I've never seen one in person and hadn't never heard of them until
well, they used to be smaller, so like half the size of a comic, and you usually get like 8 to 12 pages in it, and they were. I've got like a handful of like older ones. I've got like a Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I've got like a foil Grendel one from Matt Wagner.
Cool.
And a couple of others, but as of late, Scout Comics brought back the ash can, and they did something smart with it. One, they made it the same size as a comic, like dimension size, and they would release an ash can for each title before that title's #1 hit. So all the people that go chasing #1s for like first appearances and keys and everything were a little saddened when they learned that the first appearance of all those characters is actually in the ash can, not in the #1. They do like, they put like a bunch of different stuff in there. And there's usually like an 8-page story that it's a precursor to what happens in #1. So it's kind of like a prelude, and it's like first appearances, and there's some other cool thing. And Ash Can used to be a preview mini comic with just a couple of pages to give away for free or for less than $1.
Interesting.
Initially, yeah, and then they started charging for them. They started charging like a couple of I've got like 2 different Star Trek ones, and they were like $3, like $2.95. But it was something different. I go, this is cool. This might be something. Those weren't, but they've come kind of like full circle, where they're not really worth a lot, but the collectors value them. It's kind of like in that niche.
I see.
But I just like the idea, and now Scout is treating it like a half a book.
It's an interesting play. I mean, that I have Scout. Do I have a Scout? No, I think Scout. Yeah. The Electric Black.
Yep.
I got one. That's a really interesting title. That's a really great series that I think the more they explore that, I've heard something about a Netflix animated series with that. I forget what the other version of their universe is, but yeah, Scout Comics is really interesting.
Oh yeah, Black Caravan.
Yeah. That's a really cool setup, like a crazy pawn shop in space or something like that. I don't remember what it is exactly, but yeah, I like Scout Comics. I like what they're doing. The Ashcan idea, yeah, that I guess that's sort of like I said originally, that wasn't really our plan, but that kind of sounds like not a bad idea. And I had mentioned that Jacob and I were talking about doing a longer version of this. That would be something I would probably, because I'm going to print 20 to 30% extra of the book just to have stuff on hand. So yeah, that would be something I'd probably include with that campaign, just to, here is the real first appearance for anybody that's interested. So yeah, I actually kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Solid.
See, once in a while I come up with an idea. I'm no RJ, but I don't have a puppet that I have, interviewing people either. So
I need a puppet. I like puppets. I'm not a big Jeff Dunham guy, but I don't know. Puppets, they're fun. Just gotta have the right puppet.
I don't know. I don't know if I like Dunham. I respect his talent for it, but I do like I do like him for the characters he's created.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's definitely talented. I mean, it's an art form being a ventriloquist. I mean, you can admire somebody mastering the craft. I mean, I couldn't tell you a better ventriloquist than Jeff Dunham. So
yeah, they had a young girl on America's Got Talent, and her first name was Darcy, and she had it down. You could see her lips moving a little bit like this, but she wasn't like mouthing anything. But she was having her puppets sing a song, and she was good. She's like an amazing singer. She's like almost 18 now, but I think she either won one year or was like came in second place or something. But I'm like, anybody that can do that, yeah. Because I tried my hand at it when I was a kid, and I could only do it if my face was behind the puppet, so you couldn't see my mouth moving the entire time.
Very well. What are you doing? Best spells and superheroes today.
Yeah, back this book today. Be more like Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, you're my man.
Back Indie Comics today. Yeah, 34 backers. Let me look at the bigger screen so I can see. Yeah, 34 backers, 665, 133% of goal, 8 days left, and we're going for it here.
Yeah.
I mean, back that featured tier. The extra $5 is going to get you that Frankie B patch. You're going to get the book, 2 prints, the Frankie B patch, the fold out game map, the
sticker and a magnet,
the Patchwork Comic sticker and the magnet. So you're going to get a sticker. You're going to get a sticker, a magnet, a patch, a game map, a couple of prints, and the book. So
I've also got something coming too. Like I said, I'll drop at the end of the month, just when it's colored. I'm just sent it off to the colorist today, so he's going to finish up a project he's working on, and then he'll hop right on it. So
yeah,
and I'll just say all my Foxman fans out there are going to love it.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's one hell of a skill. Yes, it is. But
I wanted to pick up juggling this year, juggling and the robot. I haven't accomplished either. Too busy, but maybe one day.
I got comics to make,
Right.
I got comics to make, streams to watch. Come on.
You got it.
So, Ginge, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and follow you online? Absolutely. And they already know where they can back the book. The link is in the chat. It is also in the notes, either up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us.
Right. So where you can find me, I'm on Twitter and YouTube. Those are my 2 spots. My real name is Mark. I'm at Mark Mulgrave on Twitter. It's 2 R's. And then, YouTube is Gingerton, which is what I'm mostly known by. But it's also my YouTube channel where I have a Sunday morning show with Pedro Ang, animator, comic book creator galore. He's got some stuff, that not a whole lot of people have seen yet, but I would expect something from Pedro here soon. But we do a morning show every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're trying to, like I said, we're going on episode 6 now. We have a guest each week, but this week it's just going to be him and I. So every now and then we'll do just him and I hanging out, chatting streams. But yeah, we want to be there pretty much, kind of be a consistent once a week show, 10 a.m. in the morning, get your coffee. Maybe, I don't know if somebody's a sort of a wake and bake type of guy, but it's a chill show. So definitely come hang out. 10 a.m. Yeah, Pedro's the man, and really great animator too. If anybody's looking for any sort of animation, he will absolutely work with your budget and will give you, way more than you paid for. Great guy.
Very cool.
Yep.
Let's see.
That's all I got.
Mike, I picked up drawing this year. Seems to be doing okay.
Me too, actually. This is my I drew on and off as a kid, but stopped, and then it's really hard not to look around at all these other artists and not at least just want to draw. So
yeah. And Mike says, "Oh yeah, Pedro is a wonderful dude."
That he is, my Panamanian brother.
Oh yeah, my Panamanian brother from another mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for coming and hanging out. Been a lot of fun. Chilling, talking spells, superheroes, and everything in between and all around. And on our way out, we're going to take a look at the trailer for MAVRICS. They hit 14K over the weekend, so we should be seeing an image for the challenge coin on that very soon. So
Neff is a really great dude. If I can, I mean, Neff was my first backer and was like really great about Ichthus. I don't know if you know Ichthus.
Yeah.
People say his name, right. He hosted my launch channel, and him and Neff are cool. And Neff was like super great about, like in all caps, hurry up and launch the book so I can back. So Neff, I backed MAVRICS, of course, and I'm a big fan. And thanks for the support, bro. You totally rock. You and Global or Frequency Girl. Thank you guys.
Yeah, they actually got me to. Yeah, we'll see you later, Mike.
Later, Mike.
They actually got me to sing karaoke on their show.
All right.
And every song I do, Mo Biggs is begging me to stop and threatening to ban me permanently from the channel until I sang "Asshole" from Dennis Leary.
Very good.
Then he actually gave me a compliment. And if you can get a compliment out of Mo Biggs, you need to screenshot that, frame it, and put it on your wall, because those are far and few in between.
Just make it your Twitter banner.
Oh yeah. Neff is a wonderful guy. He took the 1,000 euro tier to make LOC story with me. Oh,
Respect.
awesome. So,
Very cool.
not only is he in the middle of his own huge campaign, he threw down on Life on Korra to write a story. He liked Mike Jimmy's world build so much. He's like, I need to write a story there.
There's a few friends like that, though. My buddy Ichthus.
Yeah. He's
got that JRPG, the pro wrestling Gators. I want to write in that universe. I love the characters. I'm a Florida man, so I love alligators already. But basically, it's a wrestling book, and they have a wrestling ring. To me, it sounds like a ton of fun, and it's with Gators. It looks great. Ichthus, hit me up, bro. Here's my offer.
Oh yeah,
free of charge.
Yeah, I was one of the guys at the beginning that so I met him on a CromCon like months and months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the guilty parties that were like, oh, Itchy Five.
Right.
Why would you call yourself Itchy Five? And every time I started to say that name, instead of saying Itchy Five, I would say Itchy Fish. Because Itchy Fish was a tribute band to Pearl Jam back in the day around here. So
all right.
It just kind of like struck an arm and goes, I'd say Itchy. Oh, Itchy Fish, yeah. And then somebody goes, dude, it's Ichthus. I go, oh yeah, I get it.
I love it. It drives him nuts. And he's really, really great about it just because there's no way around it. Everybody does it. Even me from time to time. I'll say the name wrong. And he's a really nice guy, so he takes it well. But I think recently he updated his Twitter to like well, I forget the phonetic version of the name. So you
I
actually
was just
see
gonna
it.
say, did he spell it phonetically underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he colored the first stretch goal on MAVRICS. It was a
Really?
print that Luke Stone drew, and Ichthus colored it. And
man.
then Ichthus said, I don't like the way that came out. I got to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like any given artist on any given day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my work sucks. I got to start all over.
Yeah, Ichthus, that thing that I have coming up with Foxman, I will just say he's the colorist that I sent that piece off to. So.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like his work. He's got a great palette.
He does. Yep.
So
but all right, well, let's I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I've had a great time chatting with you. This has been certainly longer than other streams that I've done, but I mean it's been a great chat, and I'd love to come back and just hang out.
Yeah, anytime. So Ginge is gonna duck out, and so am I, and we're gonna end the stream with this trailer right here. We're out of here.
War is a topic of vital importance, a subject of inquiry that cannot be ignored. It is a matter of life and death. It can be a road to safety or to ruin.
In an alternate version of our world, brought to the brink of total collapse, rival nations fight for global domination, and elite pilots in futuristic combat suits wage war on the battlefield of tomorrow. Now, 6 brave soldiers on a seemingly routine rescue mission will encounter more than they bargained for and uncover a dangerous secret that could change their world if they live long enough to see it.